Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will explain about Southeast Asian English. Okay, my name is Dini Firdanovita Putri, my student number 038. First, I want to explain about the history of development of English in Southeast Asia. Okay, for the first is Malaysia. The colonial history of peninsular Malaysia begins with the acquisition of Penang by the East India Company in 1786. Education in English was introduced into the state settlements from the early 19th century. But the British experience in India, where the spread of English education led to the rise of nationalism, result the British being cautious in introducing English education widely in Malaysia. English is taught obligatorily in all schools. There are private English medium schools with links to universities in the UK, USA, Australia, and Canada. In 1965, Singapore adopted a policy of education in which all four official languages, English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil, were given equal status in the education system. For the second is Singapore. At independence in 1965, Singapore adopted a policy of education in which all four official languages, English, Malay, Mandarin, and Tamil, were given equal status in the education system. All four were used as media of education at the primary and secondary levels. In addition, all four languages were made available as second language in all schools. The next is Filipina. The first person to think of English rather than Spanish as the medium of instruction in schools in the Philippines was Apolinario Mabini. In 1901, English became the sole medium of instruction. Filipino and English were declared official language of the Philippines in 1973 in the second constitution, as opposed to Spanish and English in the first constitution in 1935.
Hello, my name is Fitri Noristikoma. My student number is 86. Today I will continue to explain about the history of the development of English in Southeast Asia, especially in Indonesia and in Thailand. Let's start with Indonesia. During the occupation by the Japanese, the use of Dutch was forbidden, and as the Japanese could not introduce their language immediately, the national Indonesian language and Malay gained ground. After independence, Indonesian language became the sole national and official language of the country. English was introduced as a compulsory second language at the junior and senior high school levels in place of Dutch, which is still taught as a foreign language as are French, German, etc. Maksudnya adalah ketika Indonesia diduduki oleh Jepang, bahasa Belanda ini sudah tidak boleh digunakan lagi. Dan karena bangsa Jepang tidak bisa memperkenalkan bahasa mereka kepada bangsa Indonesia, maka penggunaan bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Melayu ini menjadi kuat. Namun setelah kemerdekaan, bahasa Indonesia menjadi satu-satunya bahasa nasional dan bahasa resmi negara. Selain itu, bahasa Inggris juga ditetapkan menjadi bahasa wajib kedua di tingkat SMP dan SMA, menggantikan bahasa Belanda yang masih diajarkan sebagai bahasa asing seperti bahasa Perancis, bahasa Jerman, dan lain-lain. Next, in Thailand. Since English became the lingua franca of the Far East, Rama IV realized that the kind of education provided by the monasteries and the court was not adequate for producing future government officials. He therefore commanded that measures be taken to modernize the education of the country. Accordingly, a good knowledge of English formed a part of the new educational requirements for the officials, as it had become a necessary key to further knowledge and a medium of communication with foreigners. English was introduced into the public school curriculum in 1913 and remained a required subject until 1977, with instruction in the language beginning in the 5th school year. Since then, several policy revisions have taken place. The latest one introduces English at the lower primary levels and continues instruction through the completion of high school. Maksudnya adalah ketika bahasa Inggris ini menjadi lingua franca di Timur Tengah, Rama keempat menyadari bahwa sistem pendidikan yang disediakan di biara-biara dan pengadilan tidak memadai untuk membentuk karakter siswa menjadi pejabat pemerintah di masa depan. Oleh karena itu, dia memerintahkan untuk memperbaharui pendidikan negara, yaitu dengan memberikan pengetahuan bahasa Inggris yang lebih baik, yang mana ini akan menjadi kebijakan pendidikan baru bagi para pejabat, karena ini akan menjadi kunci penting dalam pengetahuan yang lebih lanjut dan sebagai media untuk berkomunikasi dengan orang asing. Dan bahasa Inggris ini mulai diperkenalkan ke dalam kurikulum sekolah umum pada tahun 1913 sampai 1977. Sejak saat itu, beberapa revisi kebijakan telah dilakukan, salah satunya yaitu dengan memperkenalkan pendidikan bahasa Inggris di tingkat yang lebih rendah sampai sekolah menengah. Next, status and function of English. Bahasa Malaysia has expanded its rank as the sole official language of the nation and is the medium of instruction for primary to university level. The new education policy designates English the second most important language after Bahasa Malaysia. This has resulted in a great impact of English as a requirement for graduation. University of Malaysia students have to take 8 credits of English, 4 for general English and 4 for English for specific purposes. There is freedom of choice for the language used for writing dissertation. Maksudnya adalah bahasa Malaysia telah menjadi satu-satunya bahasa resmi negara dan merupakan bahasa pengantar dari tingkat dasar hingga universitas. Kebijakan pendidikan baru telah menetapkan bahasa Inggris sebagai bahasa terpenting kedua setelah Malaysia. Semua mahasiswa harus menggunakan bahasa Inggris sebagai syarat kelulusan. Dan mahasiswa Universitas Malaysia harus mengambil 8 kredit bahasa Inggris, yang mana 4 untuk bahasa Inggris umum dan 4 lagi untuk bahasa Inggris dengan tujuan tertentu. Dan mereka diberi kebebasan untuk memilih bahasa dalam menulis disertasi. Next, in the Philippines, English replaced Spanish as the official language with the establishment of the American rule. English continued to be the official language of the schools and government after the Philippines gained independence from the USA in July 1946, along with the teaching of the national language in colleges of education for future teachers and at each grade level beginning in grade 1. The Linguistic Society of the Philippines conducted a study and reported on the basis of a sample of 1,200 respondents that 56% of Filipinos are able to speak English, 73% are able to read, and 59% are able to write it. Maksudnya adalah di Filipina bahasa Inggris menggantikan bahasa Spanyol sebagai bahasa resmi dengan pembentukan aturan Amerika. Lalu bahasa Inggris menjadi bahasa resmi di sekolah dan pemerintahan setelah Filipina merdeka dari Amerika Serikat pada Juli tahun 1946. Linguistic Society of the Philippines melakukan penelitian dan melaporkan bahwa dari 1.200 responden, 56% orang Filipina bisa berbicara bahasa Inggris, 73% orang Filipina bisa membaca bahasa Inggris, dan 59% orang Filipina bisa menulis menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Next, Indonesia proclaimed itself independent from 4 centuries of French rule on 17 August 1945, but gained recognition as an independent nation only in December 1949. During the colonial period, Dutch was the official language, which at independence was replaced by Bahasa Indonesia. Instead of Dutch, English became the second most important language in the school curriculum at the high school level. Maksudnya adalah Indonesia memproklamasikan dirinya sendiri merdeka pada tahun 1945, akan tetapi mendapat pengakuan sebagai bangsa yang merdeka pada tahun 1949. Ketika masa kolonial, bahasa Belanda ini menjadi bahasa resmi di negara Indonesia, akan tetapi setelah Indonesia merdeka diganti dengan bahasa Indonesia, dan bahasa Inggris pun menjadi bahasa terpenting kedua setelah bahasa Indonesia pada kurikulum sekolah di tingkat sekolah menengah.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Isma Nursyatini. My student number is 2519102. Here I will continue the explanation of the material from our group discussion. The next topic is about social linguistic profile of Southeast Asian Englishes. English is still perceived as a foreign language in multilingual and ethnically diverse countries such as Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. But now, it is gradually becoming the language of social interaction, as it does not carry the load of the social-linguistic connotation of the indigenous language. So guys, please look at our PowerPoint file on slide 14. There are the Malay items in the conversation and also the following meaning, but that is not the acroletter or standard variety that Malaysians will use on formal occasion, but that moselectal or colloquial variety serves the purpose of establishing a shared social space in non-formal domains. Okay, the next point is about characteristic of Southeast Asian Englishes. 1. Phonology. In Philippine English, stops are not inspirated initially and not released finally. S is used for both S and Z. S in sing and zing, and also for S in shame, and Z and Z as in treasure. Dental T is used for the initial sound in thin, and D for initial sound in this. Sometimes H is not pronounced. Delivery is syllable time, not stress time. The most contracts in vowel sounds of British English are lost in Malaysian English. For instance, ME does not maintain the contracts between tense and last vowel sounds, so that the pair sit and sit, pull and pull are pronounced in the same way. Similarly, the following pairs distinct in British English and American English are pronounced identically: meet and met, coat and coat, cut and cart. The second vowel sound in words such as forward and the vowel in bird are both pronounced with R. The deep talk are simplified so that make is pronounced with E and cough with O. Vowel reduction in understressed syllable in absent, and nouns and verb are not distinguished by the placement of stress as in British English or American English. In polysyllabic words, the initial syllable is stressed. Many of those features are shared by Singapore English also. The rhythmic features of Southeast Asian Englishes are very different from those of inner circle English, as has been mentioned before. Word stress is not distinctive, that is, it does not distinguish between nouns and verbs, for example, excuse and excuse, or between compounds and press, for example, White House and White House. Sentence stress also show characteristic different from inner cycle in English, which may lead to difficulties in communicating across varieties. Okay guys, the next point will be explained by my colleague. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nufus Mega Faramida. My student number is 119. I will continue the next explanation about Southeast Asian English, and I will explain about vocabulary, grammar, and discourse. Firstly, is about vocabulary. Similar to their East Asian and South Asian counterparts, Southeast Asian Englishes also have lexical resources that extend the range of the American or British English of their historical inheritance. These fall into several categories such as neologism, borrowing, and new compound. And for the example, firstly in Singapore English, XC show off, Missy Norse cop rubber stamp, marina kids youngsters who spend their leisure time at around Marina Square, a shopping center. Graduate mothers, graduate well-educated married women encouraged to have more children and accorded certain privileges in Singapore as compared to non-graduate mothers. And in Philippine English, deep puristic or hard to understand as an attribute of language. Stick, cigarette, high blood tense, upset, blowout, treating someone with a snake or meal, motel, a hotel used for premarital or extramarital affairs, manualize, to prepare manuals, go ahead, leave before others with house permission, sudden try, student body. And in Malaysian English, antelope, a male headed by a girl, popcorn, a loquacious person, kacang, peanuts, easy, slumber, relax, red spot, open self, girls who are popular and those who are not, type box, those who come to attend school but do not live in residence halls. The borrowings from local languages make English more relevant to local context. They also serve ideological purposes. For instance, Lone Berg discusses how Malay elites are institutionalizing their dominance through English, which is the native language of very few Malaysians but is still the principal code for communication among Malaysia multi-ethnic elites by utilizing the linguistic device of replacing English words with denotatively equivalent terms from Malay. Jadi maksudnya adalah vocabulary bahasa Inggris di kawasan Asia Tenggara itu mirip dengan di Asia Timur dan Asia Selatan. Di Asia Tenggara juga memiliki sumber leksikal yang memperluas jangkauan American English or British English dari wawasan sejarah mereka, yang terbagi dalam beberapa kategori seperti neologism, borrowing, and new compound. Pengambilan bahasa Inggris dari bahasa lokal membuat bahasa Inggris lebih relevan dengan konteks lokal seperti yang dijelaskan di atas, yaitu seperti yang ada di Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. And the second is about grammar. Southeast Asian Englishes share many characteristics of other outer and expanding circle Englishes in their grammars. Some of the salient features are listed here. Firstly, the distinction between count and non-count nouns is not as institutionalized as in inner circle Englishes. Therefore, it's quite common to observe from such as furnitures, equipments, research, and one evidence. Some count nouns are preceded by redundant partitives and show agreement in number with the head nouns, as in sticks of cigarettes, stubs of roses, and units of three-bedroom flats. There are some And the second is about the gender distinctions among pronouns are not always maintained. For the example, in Thai English and also in Singapore, he and she may be used interchangeably to refer to male and female reference. Verb tenses are not marked consistently, as most Southeast Asian languages mark aspects rather than tenses. Adverbs may be used to mark tenses. Jadi vocabulary dalam orang Inggris Asia Tenggara ini memiliki banyak karakteristik dari memiliki karakteristik yang berbeda dari bahasa Inggris lainnya, bahasa Inggris pada umumnya, yang memperluas jangkauan tata bahasa mereka. Contohnya di sini adalah perbedaan antara kata benda count noun and uncountable noun tidak dilambangkan seperti dalam bahasa Inggris pada umumnya. Lalu perbedaan gender di dalam kata ganti tidak selalu diperhatikan. Misalnya dalam bahasa Inggris Thailand dan juga di Singapura, he and she, dia perempuan dan dia laki-laki, dapat digunakan secara bergantian untuk merujuk pada referensi pria dan wanita. Bentuk kata kerja tidak ditandai secara konsisten karena sebagian besar bahasa Asia Tenggara menandai aspek daripada bentuk kata. Kata keterangan juga dapat digunakan untuk menandai tenses. Okay, next is about discourse. Terms of address. The convention in Southeast Asia, as in East Asia, is to use title and the given name of the person to address the interlocutor. Therefore, someone named Susan M. Lightfoot can usually expect to be addressed as Miss Susan. Code mixing and code switching with local languages is a common strategy. For example, I just simply choose one because I'm in need of it, so I just Jin Chai, take one only. Jin Chai without being fastidious from Hokkien. The same is true of other countries of Southeast Asia where traditions of indigenous language mingle with Chinese, Sanskrit, and Tamil tradition to create a tapestry of many colors and hues. In fact, writers from Southeast Asian countries have been aware of their physical and socio-cultural context and how this affect creativity and English. Jadi maksud dari discourse di dalam bahasa Inggris Asia Tenggara ini sebagai contohnya adalah dalam ketentuan alamat. Di Asia Tenggara seperti di Asia Timur, mereka menggunakan gelar dan nama orang yang diberikan untuk menyapa lawan bicara. Misalnya saja seseorang yang bernama Susan M. Lightfoot, mereka biasanya dipanggil dengan Miss Susan. Kode mixing and code switching, pencampuran kode dan peralihan kode dengan bahasa lokal juga umum digunakan dalam discourse. Okay, that's all from Group 10. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.